For just $2, you can own a trilogy of games on Nintendo 3DS eShop. Love Hero at $1.26, the Queen TV Game 2 at 2 cents, and Gal Galaxy Pain at 63 cents. Well, technically they're the second to fourth games in a quadrilogy since the first game is free on Wii U, but the Wii U never happened, so we'll just pretend this is the complete series. Because it's such a graphical showcase, the entire trilogy is only available on a new 3DS or new 2DS model. My capture card is on a regular 3DS. You see the problem here. That's why all of the gameplay you'll see in this video is so garbage, because I had to use an iPhone from 5 years ago, and apparently the table I use for filming isn't level. There was just a ton of problems. And since the games look super similar, I'll have their name on screen to help cut down on any confusion. But I actually played all these games, and I'm still confused as to why I spent money on them. Now, I know what you're thinking. Any galaxy with women in it will cause pain. And no, it's not cheating if Gal Galaxy was released on December 27th, 2021, and I'm considering it a 2022 release. If that's cheating, so is what my best friend did with that girl at the club. He told me his girlfriend would be okay with it, so I said nothing and just kept watching. I even learned a few things too. Learning is never wrong. Like, did you know that girls prefer it when you compliment them instead of listing their flaws? I had no idea. Plus, they have the Game Awards in like the first week of December each year. I say if you want to be mad about somebody over my decision to cover Gal Galaxy Pain here, then it should be Jeff Keighley, not me. Anyways, Love Hero is the most expensive game of the bunch at $1.26 in Canada, and it looks just like Galaga. You control a ship that moves around the screen, and it can shoot not just from its mouth, but from its butt as well. What I discovered fairly soon is that shooting the enemies is completely useless. There's no scorekeeping, no power-ups, no nothing. This isn't a shoot 'em up, it's a dodge 'em up. All you have to do is survive until the timer reaches 0. Nothing else matters. In fact, it's actually smarter to just leave the DVD screensavers alive at 1 health because all they do is bounce around in a predictable pattern. If you destroy them, they respawn. Things do get somewhat exciting in level 3 when the shooting goes away and you have to dodge death beams. Then in level 4, it's a mix of dodging and, well, dodging. Sure, there's enemies to blast, but you basically just survive for a few minutes, that's it. Each level has a random title like Pressure and Zenith, or Love and Endearment. And when you aren't shooting, you can hear a random lady singing a random song in the background. That random lady, I guess, makes an appearance in the 5th level, a pretty crazy boss fight to be fair. She taunts you and says things like give up, and when you beat her she says nice one. And that's Love Hero. Seriously, that's all there is. 5 levels. The game tells you beating each level unlocks sick content in the museum, but it's more like suck content, am I right? It's just some pictures. I can't really say much critically about Love Hero. It's short, it costs $1.26, and it's boring. On to the next one. The dialogue's tough to hear in these games, but when you first boot up the Queen TV Game 2, you can clearly hear the woman say something about watching Love Hero on TV, but it's been effing cancelled. Yes, a 3DS game that costs 2 cents uses an uncensored F word in the first 5 seconds. And the obscenities don't stop there. In the in-game description, they use the F word again. And when you get game over, the F word flashes on screen. These developers are absolutely mad. In terms of the actual gameplay, it's a dodge 'em up, except sometimes you want to hit things. The first level sees you playing as a square, and you gotta dodge 2 other squares. The shield can deflect the squares, and thanks to hitting them the right way, I got into a lucky pattern on my first playthrough and barely had to do anything for 2 minutes. In level 2, it's 1 player Pong for 3 minutes. You don't know boring until you play 1 person Pong for 3 minutes. Sure, it can be a bit challenging at first, but once you learn the pattern, it's pretty much autopilot. And if you get so bored that you end up taking damage, congratulations, you have to restart the entire thing. In the 3rd and final level, you have to face off against a kaiju bunny while dodging squares and charging up a beam attack to damage it. This would be easy, except when the bunny goes rabid, your ship slows down, making dodging super freaking difficult. And the game seems to line up the bouncing squares into the most unfair pattern right when the slowdown occurs. It took me several attempts to KO the bad bunny, then I was done. With Love Hero, you're paying 20 cents per level. In the Queen TV Game 2, you're paying less than 1 cent per level. So I guess that makes it better? First off, you know how 3DS games will play a short sound when you hover over the icon? Gal Galaxy Pain just has a woman laughing, and the other 2 have her speaking. Well, when you get into the game, the story's all about a woman who doesn't care about humanity anymore or something. The whole goal in Gal Galaxy is to protect Earth or whatever from meteors. You do this by inputting numbers on the bottom screen to blow them up. I managed to beat all 7 levels on my first try, meaning it was under 10 minutes before I reached completion. A personal best for me. But for 62 cents, I was basically given 10 positively riveting minutes of just using a calculator super fast. There is a progressive difficulty. The first level starts with single digits, then double, then triple, before things go faster in later stages, but it was just too easy. I think there's supposed to be some deeper meaning in these games about a woman slowly hating life or her job or both. I just never really cared. The gameplay in the entire series of 3DS games isn't worth spending the money on in my opinion. This also seems like a good time to mention that price doesn't really matter in video games as much compared to your time. Sure, all 3 games can be purchased for a combined $2, and they aren't offensively bad and do work as intended. I just think the hour of playtime you get here will be better spent elsewhere. But maybe you want to own a 2-cent 3DS game that swears. I don't know, I'm only here to guide you, not hold your hand. It's up to you what you spend your time and money on. All I know is that there's better games out there for the same $2 price tag, like Edge and Aura Climber, and I wish I just played those again. If I had to choose my favorite of this group, I guess it would be the tween TV game too. I don't know, it's like picking my favorite out of my children. They all suck equally, so why would I bother liking one more than the other? The advantage these games have is that they only cost $2 total, while my kids have wasted hundreds on V-Bucks. So thinking about it logically, I'd rather spend an hour with these games than my own children.